I'm Steve from K-Town. This is Jasmine.
This is Jasmine. I know my name.
Award-winning hairstylist. You gotta remember that. And Mohawk
Drink
Steve.
all night, sleep all day.
Award-winning hairstylist. When I'm not busy being an award-winning hairstylist.
We are teaching Korean.
Exactly. We talk about
That's what we're doing.
We're actually teachers. Well, for now we are. So
there's been a lot of questions about these terms, these Korean terms. And so this is Korean Class 101.
the Hyung is actually for guys, between guys. So Joe is older than Joey. So Joey calls Joe Hyung. Hyung, that's in Korean, Hyung.
But sometimes Joey actually calls Joe Samchun. Like it means uncle. So kind of like Uncle Sam, he calls him Samchun.
Samchun. So I don't know why Joey calls Joe Samchun, because it's supposed to be this right here, but he does it anyways.
He calls him Samchun. That's funny, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Next one is 동생.
동생 is when it doesn't matter about the gender, if it's male or female. Whoever's younger than you is 동생.
I'm pretty whitewashed, so I don't really care about these terms, but to use it. Jasmine is younger than me, so she would actually be my 동생.
Yeah.
But she doesn't call me Hyung, because that's between guys.
Exactly. I am younger than him, so for me, I will call him oppa.
So this is what Jasmine should call me, but she doesn't. I don't care. But that in Korean would be this.
When we told Scarlet to call Joe oppa, she's like, what does that mean? That sounds sexual.
I'm not gonna do that. No way.
She just calls all of us, bitch, ho bags, that kind of stuff. But that, in Korea, this is what she should be calling us, and that's how it should be if we're actually in motherland Korea, or if you really care about all that stuff.
So now we have
언니.
언니 is a girl and a girl. So let's say that Steve was a girl.
Yeah, I wouldn't call her 언니. There's no way. That'd be gay.
I will call her 언니 because she's older than me. So that would be Steve 언니 for you right here.
Emo, like Nemo? But like, so what? Emo is like, which
well, emo is basically your aunt, but you don't want to call this waitress lady at the restaurant old lady, so I would just call her emo, or I would call her 언니. So you can get free stuff.
Something like that. You feel closer, or they feel closer to you, because you're not just calling you just like random Ahjumma or anything like that. So we're not treating them like as strangers, but emo is kind of something like closer.
And then we have the Ahjumma, which is older lady, kind of like a missus.
Any woman married would be considered an Ahjumma, right? That's why, like, my friends who actually got married, all my girlfriends, I call them Ahjumma just to kind of make fun of them, but they're like, they just got married like a month ago. They're still Ahjumma.
Or there would be ajushi, which is, this is an ajushi. This is my ajushi juice. If you look really carefully, it's like an older man, So you call an older man ajushi. I love this ajushi.
I was in Korea about 5 years ago, and everybody in Korea drank about 3 cans of these, after or before they actually went out to drink. And it's supposed to help you out. I drank about 5, didn't do shit. So for me,
what is that?
My hangover remedy, I used the Oxygen 3000. And this right here is 100% oxygen.
Spray it on my hair.
No, it's 100% oxygen, and it goes like that. And then you go. Yeah. Next term is Nota Bunk. This gets used this is a common place that we always go to. It's part of our rounds that we go through.
So it's karaoke. That's what it is.
So
a lot of these karaoke places, you get private rooms, and you can pretty much dance and do whatever you want in it.
But this is just another Korean term. It's Nota Bunk. It's karaoke.
And what else do we have next? We have 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's the proper way of saying it.
It's a formal way of saying it.
Formal way of saying it.
Thank you.
So next we have 안녕하세요, which means hello, but it's in a formal way. So you don't ever want to say 안녕 is an informal way. So for me, I would say 안녕 Steve.
Right.
But to an elder, as in my parents or your parents, I would say 안녕하세요, and you usually bow to them.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah, so
you have to.
안녕 is between me and her, informal, and 하세요 all the way through, that makes it formal. Next one is Mandu.
Mandu.
Mandu is a dumpling, okay? That's what dumplings are in Korean.
Want some soy sauce on it?
But when she uses Mandu, she doesn't mean dumpling. Basically, Mandu would be an ugly,
It would be an ugly girl. That's
short.
Short and wobbly,
Short,
stubby little girl. I think they're hot shit. That's a Mandu.
Ugly as hell. My favorite drink from K-Town, from Korea, the green bottle, soju. This is distilled from rice, and it's about 17% alcohol. Green bottle. If you haven't tasted it, it tastes like a really mild vodka.
And it's a creeper for sure.
Yeah.
You think that it's not hitting you at all, and then it hits you all at once, like.
Exactly. Hits you later on. The next thing you know, you're blacking out, you're throwing up somewhere. Yeah, it's awesome. And next thing is beer, right? Now, in Korean, beer is 맥주.
Why are you coming on MySpace? I need to draw over here.
And there's no proper way of writing this. 맥주. You guys seen the Soul Train, right? It's like 1/2 soju.
Out the jar.
All right.
And then we have the little baby soju cup right here.
Exactly.
And then it goes boink.
So this would be soju.
And then it's down here.
And then beer gets up to here.
Usually they call it Soul.
Exactly. So it's right here. Soul.
Soul.
And
맥주.
But then we made a different name for it. The Soul Train.
Because there's a million of them together.
And it's much cooler. The next one is wait a minute. Wait a minute is 잠깐만요. Literally means wait a minute. And it's like a filler for me. You know, I always say when I don't have anything to say, it's like something awkward is happening or I don't know what to do.
All the time?
Yeah, exactly. It's 잠깐만요. All right, next word is Congruent. Jasmine's gonna explain that because she's BFF with Scarlet and she made it up. I have no idea what Congruent even means.
This is a word that Scarlet made up that we always refer to. Basically, they're FOBs, FOBs, which are fresh off the boats, but we don't like to use that term. So we just made up our own word called Congruent. It's spelled with a K for Koreans. And then if you're Chinese, it's with a C. Write it. Congruent. Our #1 Congruent that we love is Jung.
Younguru. So we have our own Younguru.
He does this.
Exactly.
And a lot of Congruents do that. So
because they're awkward, right?
it's like,
They're very awkward.
I don't get it.
So that's what Congruent is. And next one is
건배.
건배. Cheers in Korean is 건배.
And there's different etiquette to drinking, especially if you have someone that's older than me. Okay, this is me.
So I'm older. Let's just say I'm an 아저씨. Okay, I don't know if you guys are
아저씨 is an
keeping up with
guy.
this, so you should know this by now. So I'm older than her. I'm 아저씨. She's younger than me, and she would do 2 hands, and then she would actually turn to the other side and take the shot.
So we'll say 건배,
Yeah,
and then I would turn, and I would drink.
exactly.
Not in front of them.
You can't be like doing it straight up.
Yeah, I can't be like this.
Yeah,
Or one hand, that's true.
exactly. So I'll do one
That
hand.
was-
I'm like, yeah. Turn around.
And then I bow,
Mhm.
and I turn.
That's how you do it. She's older than me. I'll go like this. I'll go like
Oh,
that.
I can do one hand.
Yeah.
I don't have to receive.
She doesn't have to
with
go like
two
this,
hands.
but
Yeah,
you know,
I can just be regular. Be a regular
So I'll go
person.
like that, or I'll go like this.
If you're older,
One hand.
one hand.
Doesn't matter.
And I did
Doesn't
two
matter
hands.
how I do it. One hand, I don't care because I'm older. Whatever, drink it, pour it yourself, whatever, something like that. So if you're younger, you're just assed out. Okay,
Yeah.
for most of the time in Korea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. But one thing good about being young is that mostly the older person would actually always pay for the bill. So.
So that's when you go, Oppa!
Which brings us to the next word, which I hate, is 애교.
애교.
Oh God, see, that's just disgusting right now.
It's like using the fact that you're younger or that I'm a female and he's a guy to get stuff. So I would
Like free
let's
stuff.
say that I want him to pay for the bill.
Right.
Like instead of just hey oppa,
Yeah.
you're gonna pay for the bill?
First of all, I don't like this. You know, I don't want to pay for it. But then when they start using 애교, like you know this is coming a mile away. Then you're like, ah, God, okay, fine, and then you kind of do it. And one thing about 애교, girls hate it when other girls do 애교 in front of them. That's why it usually doesn't happen when there's multiple, girls. The next one is 저기요. That's excuse me, and it's 저. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's 저기요. So that means excuse me.
A lot of the Korean
Like restaurants
or bars, they have the bell. But instead of calling the bell, sometimes you just want to say excuse me so you can get their attention. You say 저기요.
Right.
Really loud. No, actually don't say it loud because they might spitting your drink.
This is simple. Ne. Ne is yes.
So a lot of the times when you don't know what's going on, you just say ne ne. Like on the phone, you hear a lot of Koreans. This is my new phone, by the way. Saran wrapped, in case you guys can't sing. I don't understand why Asian people do this, but it's because they just want to preserve whatever that they have, right?
Exactly. Since day one. So when you go to their house, you actually see their remote control all wrapped up.
All
like
wrapped
this.
up. But yeah, so usually on the phone, you would hear a lot of the Korean people just going ne ne ne. Ne 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 oh ne.
When you see Korean girls, well, mostly Korean girls, when they take pictures, they're always doing this. It's a victory in Korean.
Asians
they go
mastered the
victory.
peace sign.
Yeah, it's in
It's
every
a whole
picture.
nother level.
And they go like this now, go sideways.
Next we have
Fighting.
fighting.
Pretty much
Whenever they're excited, let's say you're watching the
sports
soccer
games.
game, Olympics.
Olympics.
You're watching the Olympics and you see Korea. So they start getting excited and they used to say fighting.
Yeah,
right?
they say something like Korea team fighting.
Or they go 대박, which means the best, like number one.
So Korea team fighting, it just means like it's like a chant.
So use whatever we showed you and taught you,
And you'll be fine in K-Town. Completely fine.
and you'll
You'll
be all
get by.
good.
Till next
We'll
time,
talk to you soon.
Koreatown 101.